Howdy. Yesterday something happened. Maybe I didn't get it quite right. Maybe I did get it totally right. But this is what happened. And as I tell this story, I know there's going to be some people who are going to say, well, you were just being sensitive. While others are going to say, well, I'm glad you stood up for yourself. You did the right thing. I have a feeling the majority who don't already know me are going to say I was being sensitive. And those people who know me are going to say, you were absolutely right. But let's find out. So I had a doctor's appointment. I'm not going to tell you what kind of doctor's appointment, but I had a doctor's appointment. It was going to be my first time visit. Online, they had a series of papers and information you had to fill out, so I did all of that ahead of time. Online, they asked you to show up 15 minutes early, so I showed up 20 minutes early. And I went in, and there's the young lady behind us, and I let her copy my insurance card, and I let her copy my driver's license, last year's driver's license, because I have a new one. And I sit down. And when I get there in the waiting room, there's this big waiting room. There's only 2 people there. So I sit down. And I realize I'm a little early, but that's okay. So 3 people come in after me. And I said, okay, good. 3 people have come in. Then other people are coming in. So now there's like 6 other folks in the room, who came in after I was there. So the lady comes out, one lady comes out, calls one of the people who was there before me. That works out fine. Then someone else comes and gets the other person who was there before me. That's how it should happen. So now it's me and 6 people who came in after me. And it's also now time for my appointment. So now we're on, right? So someone comes out and calls one of the people who got there after me. Okay, maybe they've got something going on. Someone else comes out, gets a second person who came in after me and goes in. So now I'm sitting there saying, I don't like what I see going on here. If this happens a 3rd time, I'm leaving. It happens a 3rd time. So I get up and I go to the desk and I said, I'm sorry, I've got to leave. I'm leaving. She says, oh, why? I'm sorry. I said, well, 3 people have come in after me and they've all gone in before me. And so she says, well, but they had someone who they were specifically supposed to see, but I have you down as supposed to be having your appointment at 11. I said, no, my appointment's at 10:30. I confirmed it twice. It's just, oh, well, let me go check. So she leaves. I'm just standing there and I'm thinking, okay, nothing's going to happen, but I'm going to give her her shot. So she comes back and says, well, they tell me it's going to be another 15 minutes before anyone can see you. And I said, that's okay. You know what? I'm going to leave. She said, would you like to reschedule an appointment? I said, I'll have to get back to you. I have to check my calendar when I get back home. Now, we all know I didn't have to check my calendar when I got back home. I am an independent consultant. I carry my schedule around with me. So that's not it. So here's the thing. This is the perception. The perception is black male shows up at a business that probably gets very few black people in it. I know the area well. I went to the Facebook page and saw some of the people who liked the page, and not a single minority. And it's just easy to call all these other people. I'm the only black person in the place. No other minorities. I'm not saying specifically that's what it was, but I'm saying that was my perception at that time. I've been in healthcare almost 35 years. In August, it will be 35 years. Perception is reality. I'm very big on customer service. I was overseeing registration departments, admission departments for years as a consultant. Not only do I do finance, but I do those departments. So perception is always a big deal. If something is going on, you go out and explain it to people. In this case, I'm just kind of being overlooked, and that's the perception I had. And if anyone sounds shocked by this, let's face the fact. This kind of thing happens often. And it certainly happens a lot in my life. I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago on my business site where I asked, how come it's always expected that I am the one who defers to others? You know what? That happens all the time. I'm 6 foot, over 250. Actually, I'm not over 250 pounds anymore. I lost weight. So I'm under 250, but I'm a kind of a big guy. Yet, my entire life, I have been the one where if there's people walking toward each other, I stop. So I don't run into anyone. And they go around, or they walk through. Sometimes they bump into me and I've stopped. Or I try to make sure, that I don't, knock people around. I've done that my entire life. But no one has ever said thank you. No one has ever said, oh, excuse me. Okay, maybe it's happened here and there a couple of times. But in general, no one says that. I'm always the one opening doors. 50% of the time, someone says thank you. The rest of the time, it's like it was expected that I do it. And I don't like it, but I was brought up that way. My dad brought me up that way. It is, you're courteous. You open the door. People are going to say thank you. You know what? That doesn't happen. And I'm left to wonder, is it because I'm black? Now, people will say, okay, white people will say, it's not because you're black. I didn't notice you. I'm 6 foot, around 250. How do you not notice me? Oh, I didn't think about it. You'd have thought about it if it was someone else. I'm just saying. Or if not, then you're just perpetually rude to everybody. That doesn't make you a better person either. There is this problem that happens in America where perception and reality merge. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the perception is reality or that the reality is actually just perception. What it means, however, is that there is an inherent truth, whether it's true or not, that something has happened based on history of people. And at some point, it's got to be addressed. It just has to. I address it all the time. I write about diversity issues all the time. I've done a lot of it on my business page. I did it in a video a few weeks ago here where I talked about the travails of being a black consultant in a mainly white business, which I am in healthcare. I mean, you see these things and you really hate to think the worst of people. I certainly don't like to think the worst of people. I think that everyone deserves a chance to show what type of person they are. I just don't always like what I see. Anyway, that's my tale. Let me know your thoughts. It'll be interesting to see where the comments go. My name is Mitch Mitchell. We will talk later.